In this tutorial, I'll go ahead and show you how to create a new shapefile based off of aerial imagery. When we do this, we want to make sure we know what the current existing file has for a data projection and the coordinate system. So if you go to layers, right click on properties, you'll notice here that if you look at the coordinate system, if we go ahead and minimize all these things, you're going to see that there's a layers tab. So if you have multiple layers tab, it'll say this coordinate system here is specific to whichever ones are listed here. So the world imagery layer is using this WGS 1984, that's a datum with this projection here. So that's the coordinate system that's being used. It's important that we set that same exact coordinate system for the new shapefile. So the easiest way to do this is to right click and add to favorites. That'll make it easy to find later on. So that's currently what the aerial imagery is using. We'll hit apply. Now I can come into the catalog and I'm going to find wherever I want to create that new shapefile. In this case here, we're going to just do under ArcGIS, under my Z drive, and we're going to do a new shapefile. Now when you do this, you'll notice that there's several different types of that I can do. I can do point, line, or polygon. And this one I'll do a polygon. I'll name it, and we're just going to do buildings. And notice that currently there's an unknown coordinate system here. So that unknown coordinate system we need to edit. And I could either rifle through all the ones that are existing, which would take an extreme amount of time, or the fact that I have favorites already listed, I can just grab that one since that one is the one that was used for the aerial imagery. So we'll go ahead and set that and hit OK. Once that's done, I want to come back into the catalog here, and it'll be interesting, or it's very efficient to come into here and look at properties. When you look at the properties, it'll tell you all the description of your name and your coordinate system you're using. But specifically here in field, if we want to add a new label, so we could have a type of building, and under here that would then be a text. So if this was a academic building or athletic building, and then you could put in name here, and then you could also put that in as a text. You could also put things like area, so whatever the square footage is, and then I can use a numerical value on this. So this double means that it's a highly precise value that includes decimals. Integers only go up to a certain integer. You can do dates, anything like that. But I'll just hit OK on that. And so that now creates, that file has more fields to it. So if I go over to buildings and open that, you'll notice now that there's type in there. I've also got the area and the other items listed. Now in the attribute table, there's currently nothing that's listed. So before we start creating files, it's important to set it up so that all the data that we create with is going to efficiently create that data file. And what I mean by that is we're going to start under the Properties tab, go to Symbology, and I want to distinguish these buildings by the unique values that are going to be listed under the type of building. So I want this to be displayed and thus created with the type of building in mind. So when I start creating the file, I'll have the type of building there. So I'm just going to leave that as is for now. So I'll hit apply and OK. And notice now that it's going to separate those by that value. Now I do need to come in here under edit features. I need to define new types of features. So this allows me to say that for athletic facilities, we are going to have a specific label for them, and under type it's going to say athletic. Okay, now the name is something that I can add in there, but I'm not, in this case I'm not going to add anything in, and I'll finish that, and it's going to ask me, do I want another one? So then I'll go in here and do academic, and I'll hit finish and do it like that. So now we'll just do those two types of buildings. So once I have done that, now I can edit my or basically create a new shapefile items in there. So I'm going to go to editor under here on these three dots, hit start editing, and now if this window for creating features does not come up, you'll notice on this editor one you've got this, and it's going to allow me two options here, the ones that I've defined previously. So I can come into an academic building, and there's plenty of different ways to do this. These are for polygons, so you can come around in here and create a polygon. I could then say, hey, I want to do an athletic facility. This one would be athletic. And each time one of those is created, you'll notice that in the attribute table, that these are the two polygons that have been created, and it's already predefining these as this one's academic and this one's athletic. Apparently I can't spell athletic. You get the idea. Now, there are different tools here listed. You can go through and see that I can do it with curves and arc segments, and there's different ways to do 90-degree angles, and several different options here that make the creation process easier when you're referencing these things, and you can look through all those individually. But the general process of being able to set up that file for creation is very important there. I will note that once something is listed here, you can come in to the name here, and I can go ahead and name by just typing in here what those would be, and so that would go ahead and be able to say the name of that building would be listed there. And then once that's done, you'll hit stop editing. Do notice that when you're editing that attribute table, it does have to be in editing mode. Once that's done there, then you'll save your edits, and that file continues to build. You can always go back in and continue to edit that one there just by going back into editor mode, and this will show up here. So that's how we can get started with creating new shapefiles.